Hello and welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for October 27th, 2018. Today we're talking Boba Fett, Pokemon Go updates, Capcom on the Switch, Alan Wake might be back in stores, and some casting news for the Harley Quinn animated TV show. Stay tuned for all that and more on the Barrel Roll Newscast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast. I'm Nick.
I'm Brian.
And we're here to talk about movie and game news from the past week. First up, I'm going to skip to the second thing on our docket, just because it's... Here, I'll put this away first. Just because I kind of got it in my head. So, first big thing is Meltang?
Yes.
Meltang, the little one. Or is it Meltan is the little one?
It might be Meltan.
I don't know. Either way, the new Pokemon that got released in Pokemon Go now has also an evolution, and he clearly did not skip any day because he goes from weird Ditto with a nut on his head to, like, big, muscular, giant thing. So if you have I think it's a Meltang, you can evolve him into Meltan.
Meltan.
As far as I know. So that's one thing. There's an evolution that came from this weird Pokemon that everybody thought was a glitch at first.
Yeah.
Next up, the big Pokemon update that's coming soon, as they have said in their announcement, is the game is going to start working in the background and also in conjunction with Google Fit and Apple Health.
Awesome.
So that you do not have to have the game open while you're walking, and it'll actually start counting steps and
which is great.
Doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, because that's the big piece, at least for me, is, you know, even when we go on a walk, I usually don't take unless I'm legit going for a walk for the exact purpose of Pokemon going.
Yeah.
So it'll do the buddy candies thing.
Yeah.
It'll give you notifications when your eggs are hatching, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's there to show you. Yeah,
That's
which
awesome.
I think is great. It's there to actually help us keep fit.
Yeah.
Do the Google or do the Pokemon Go thing and all that stuff. And that's people's biggest, not complaint, but, you know, if they're using it for a fit kind of thing, running with that, or, you know, as you're sitting there like,
you want to use it in conjunction with other fitness.
Right, you want to be able, because some people do. It's like, oh, it's a reason to walk. It's a reason to do this. It's a reason to do that. And it's like, you are absolutely correct. It's a reason to do all of those things.
Yep.
But it was just tough because it would drain your battery, or it would do that. You know, like there's so many.
Now, will it always be like using data to upload that information to the server, or
we're
will
not
it?
Sure exactly how it all works yet, because even when they say it works in conjunction with Google Fit, we're not sure if it's just going to go with like, oh, Google Fit is keeping track of, because Google Fit, if you go on there, does show you where you've walked, where you've done stuff. So there's always that location stuff going on already if you have it activated.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, is it just going to, like, every time you launch the game, communicate with Google Fit and go, oh, or is it like every hour going to check in with Google Fit to see what's going on? Or is it every hour? Like, that's the question, is how is this going to work? You know, how much battery is it going to take running in the background? Are we even going to notice it running in the background? Because that game is a battery hog.
It is.
So if it's going to be like, it's running in the background, and you look at your phone and it's at like,
still...
you know, it's at like 30% left and you've been up for an hour, you're like, damn, this isn't right.
Yeah. That would not be.
I'll actually switch my buddy Pokemon at this point, though, because like I was saying to you, like mine's Squirtle, because for appearance sake, when you guys look at my profile, it's me and Squirtle. Because I get this many candies, you know. I've been on a 1-day streak for the last month, because it's like, oh yeah, I should play Pokemon Go. Catch a Pokemon, it's like 1-day streak.
It's like, yeah.
And one of my things is I actually get a 3-day streak. It's been that way for 2 months. So this will actually help me make that next step. Yeah. So here you go. Yeah, it's the big update. There's also ghost events and stuff going on right now for Halloween and all that jazz. Generation 3 is also slowly rolling out.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week, but it is slowly or Gen 4, I guess, is doing the rollout.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right,
and Gen 3, there's some missing Pokemon that didn't make the rollout for Gen 3. Apparently, they're also coming out in the mix of all of this stuff. So I lost track of what's Gen 3, what's Gen 4, what's...
I could tell you all of Gen 1.
Yep.
Easily.
Yep.
Maybe
not in order.
I don't know Gen 2. I know Gen 2, but I don't think I could name them all like I could for Gen 1. Anyways.
So, and like Tony said last week, north of Red Deer in Canada now also has its own Pokemon that is just ours.
Okay.
Region-based Pokemon.
Nice.
So
that's good.
Yeah, Edmonton now, like, you can come to Edmonton and catch a specific Pokemon that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. Do we know what that is?
It's one of the squirrels. I forgot the name of it already. Tony showed me a picture.
Tony would know.
He knows the name. He knows exactly what it looks like. And I'm like, is it the one that looks like the flying squirrel? He goes, not that one. And I went, is it the one that looks like this kind of squirrel? And he's like, not that one. And I'm like...
It's not Bidoof. No one would come here.
No. But no, we did get our own Pokemon that is for north of Red Deer. Because if you go south of Red Deer, if you're from Alberta, or you know Alberta at all, if you go south of Red Deer, you can catch a Tauros here.
Yeah.
If you go...
Yeah, you got one in Cal when you were
When I went in Cal, yeah. Because I went, I have to see, and then all of a sudden I had like 2, and I'm like, yes! Victory is mine. But yeah, you have to go south of that line, and in Alberta. This one is north of that line in Canada, from what I understand.
Okay.
And we're the only major city pretty much north of that line. There's towns, there's bigger towns, but we are like the only major city above that line.
Yeah.
So huzzah! Because the rest of Canada lives. Is it 30 miles? Like it's 90% Canada's 30 miles from the U.S. border.
Yeah.
And the other 10%,
that's where the most
we're all nuts.
Population is. Yeah.
We're nuts because we live above that line. So yeah, there is that. Going on to the other news. This one, confirmed, canceled, and completely done with is the Boba Fett, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Film. After the lukewarm reception of Solo.
Solo. Yes.
Did you see Solo with us that day, or did you come to Deadpool?
No. I saw Deadpool.
Came to Deadpool with because we did a double feature that day. And
and I think I did. Yeah,
you were busy, so it's you came after, and it was like, oh.
But I did see Solo and all.
Yes.
So eventually.
Again, it wasn't like as soon as I wasn't looking at him as Han Solo, it was a good movie.
Yes.
I had an enjoyable time at Solo. I thought it was a good Star Wars flick.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they would have opened with an Obi-Wan movie starring Ewan McGregor, even a Boba Fett movie, we would have been far better off. So that's the thing is...
I think so.
I look at, like, they're canceling Boba Fett now because people are like, oh, they don't want these individual stories. And it's like, well, no, we don't want... That would be like doing a Luke Skywalker storyline without Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
That's like doing...
Yeah.
And to be fair, Alec Guinness, who did the original Obi-Wan Kenobi...
Yeah.
To put him in episode, they couldn't put him in episode 1. They couldn't put him in episode 2. They couldn't put him in episode 3. But even in episode 4, he's sort of there.
Yeah.
Episode 5, he's sort of there.
Yeah.
Like, he's sort of there.
Yeah.
He's not there.
He's not there.
Like, so you make a younger version of him because he was already old.
Yeah.
So Ewan McGregor's like, even episode 1, you're looking at you and going, oh, I don't know. And then as... episodes 2 and 3 came out, you're like, yeah, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, really, you can get that actor in who played, the clones if you want to. You can get anybody in at that point.
Yeah.
Because he was the kid of a clone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the helmet.
Done.
He never has to take that thing off.
No.
Really.
And I think it'd be good if he never did because Boba Fett...
That was part of the...
That was who he was.
Yeah. So yeah, the Boba Fett movie would have been a good place to start. An Obi-Wan movie would have been a good place to start. But the unfortunate thing is to get Kasdan, the guy who wrote the last couple movies, to get him back into the game, he's like, I want to write a Solo movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
Okay.
And I'm like...
Yeah.
Because even when they said Solo movie, like, that was my biggest disappointment. It was my projected biggest disappointment of this year. Solo, because, again, Harrison Ford...
Harrison Ford is just Harrison Ford.
Right.
You cannot replace...
No.
Harrison Ford.
No, like that's my thing.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of actors. I wouldn't replace them in things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even Disney knows that going into this Aladdin movie, they didn't put another comedian in the role of the genie. They put Will Smith.
Yeah.
They're clearly going in a different direction.
Different direction, yeah.
As much as Will Smith was, you know,
Yeah.
comedy television, it was still sitcom comedy.
Yes.
It's not
It wasn't
stand up. It's not Robin Williams-esque.
Robin Williams-esque.
Yeah.
I agree.
So their genie's going to be different.
Yeah.
That was the thing is, like, you can't replace Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So don't.
Yeah.
Like, don't even try.
even
This
try.
one's legitimately like, all right, we're going to try and do Harrison Ford, but 10 years younger. Yeah. And I get that the argument is still, well, it's 10 years. People can change in 10 years.
Yeah.
Not that much.
Yeah, and people's little, like...
the mannerisms.
Mannerisms, yeah, that's the word. Don't...
Yeah. They might catch new ones.
Yes.
I don't know, and I feel like, and no offense to Aldrich, Eckenstein, or whatever.
He did a good job.
For what he was given, he was given the role of Han Solo.
He did a very good job. Just it's very hard to pull off.
Yeah. See, and again,
perfecting Harrison Ford.
Donald Glover works as Lando because Lando wasn't really in the movies.
Yes, yeah. You didn't see him all the time.
You don't have, Lando's just this cool character, and he's got this mysterious background.
Yeah.
Han Solo's a smuggler.
Yeah.
He's a thief.
And you see him so much, you see so much of his personality and his mannerisms that you just...
And Billy D. Williams wasn't a big part of, the 80s and 90s, whereas Harrison Ford, again, it's not like Han Solo was just... Indiana Jones was essentially Han Solo, but with a whip and a fedora. Again, I love Harrison Ford, but he's not the greatest actor in the world. He kind of has that one note that he does, which is really cool dude who saves the day from stuff.
Even in Air Force One.
Yeah, really cool president who saves the day from stuff.
Get off my plane.
Such a good movie. So bad, but so good. But that's what I mean, even The Fugitive, any of those flicks. He's that guy with the swagger who does something cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's him, and... I don't need that movie.
No.
Obi-Wan is doing and I think that's where else they fell flat was those Star Wars story movies should be their genre flicks.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, Western.
Ah, that'd be a nice idea.
Rogue One it was a heist movie.
Yeah.
You know, with space battles because it's Star Wars.
Yep.
You know, so that's my biggest.
Actually, that's a really smart idea.
I liked Solo.
Yeah.
But the LucasArts idea was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now they're like, well, we don't need a Boba Fett movie. And again, I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
Because adding voice to Boba Fett takes a lot of the mystery out of him. And they've done a lot of that in Rebels and Clone Wars already. So that's everybody's like, where do they go with that character? We've already seen his evolution of, this guy killed my dad. I'm going to avenge him. I'm going to become the best bounty hunter in the universe. Yeah. So I have that story. So is the story now he climbs out of a Sarlacc pit and
this is how he got out of the Sarlacc pit.
So if that's the reason they're canceling it, is where do we go? We don't know. We can't get a good script. I think
it's also important that they slow down with Star Wars.
Yeah.
They've been pumping out a lot of Star Wars stuff, and when Star Wars, I guess episode 7 came out. That was such a big thing because it was quite a while since episode 3.
Movie, yeah.
And everyone was like, and this was actually post.
Yes.
So there's a lot people wanted what's going on now?
Yeah.
Now it's when you just say an individual character, it's going to be a prequel and it's going to just be character development and.
Well, and I already know some of those things. Yeah. Some of those things I don't need to know. Yeah. Some people even pointed out the Imperial Army stuff that was in Solo could have been a better movie than the rest of Solo. Yeah. We don't need to know how he got the Millennium Falcon. We don't need to know how this happened. We don't need to know how that happened. And Chewie goes from eating people to all of a sudden being best buds with everybody.
Made a decision to leave his people that he saved to.
There's a bunch of pieces that it's just all right.
Yeah. It's It's like this is where we want to get to. What can we do to make that happen?
Yeah.
And that's not the greatest way to.
No, and like I say, doing an Obi-Wan movie, at least it's set after the trilogy.
Yeah.
He's on Tatooine. Something happens. it's an enclosed story. It has nothing to do with like, oh, I shall now protect, this young Sky. He's already doing that. So maybe it is the Tusken Raiders come up and do something. Yeah. Maybe it is like there's a bunch of those pieces that
Sand
it's like, yeah, like he has to do something, the Sand People, or there's some new hut that's kind of trying to take over, and he goes, oh no, because this is going to disrupt things.
Actually, that'd be cool.
That's what I mean. There's enough pieces to do stuff. And they've done it on Clone Wars, and they've done those stories. Yeah. But to do live action with Ewan McGregor, as an individual, enclosed story, that's the piece. But yeah, it's not really a surprise. Yeah. They also have the Mandalorian TV show, so
and I think that's gonna be
doing the TV show and a movie about a guy in a helmet. Because all the Mandalorians wear those helmets.
They all wear
that's the shtick.
Yeah, that is the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Doing that is part of it. And you're right, I think part of the Star Wars fatigue that people talked about was also they went from releasing at Christmas to all of a sudden they're like, okay, so it's going to be our like summer blockbuster. Yeah. Put it out. Instead it's like, why not wait the full year? Yeah. Give us a year.
We still have episode 9 coming out.
Yes. No, next year. But then again, they've switched it from that Christmas to the summer, and it's like you've already got Avengers, you've got the superhero stuff coming out, you've got your own animated stuff coming out, you've got the live action reboots of the cartoons. Make Christmas Star Wars time. Yeah, it's worked so far.
Why not?
So give us that year break. So I think that was part of it was 6 months, and now a Star Wars movie that people were already iffy about.
Yeah, you already have low interest.
The trailers were junk. Yeah. Because that was the big thing. Everybody kind of saw it and went, oh, the trailers, if they would have shown me more of that. Yeah. Everybody I talked to, because that was I'm sitting there going,
yeah. Like we were talking how where they showed in the trailer, they showed like Chewie's head hanging out a window almost hitting rock. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah, why show me that?
Yeah, Chewie's not going to hit the rock.
Chewie's going to die. And they have to resurrect him in a tank. And, like that, yeah. That part's stupid. But showing me
something that would intrigue.
Show me that this guy can actually pull off being Han Solo, which there were parts where he did. But show me those parts in the trailer, and I'd be like, because going into that as me, like I have like all my stuff. I didn't want to be a Jedi. I wanted to be Han Solo. Yeah. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. Like I wanted to be Harrison Ford growing up. Yeah. Well. Awesome. Right. Like people love Mark Hamill. People wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Yeah. I'll be the guy who flies the ship and shoots a blaster and, saves the day that way.
Yeah. In that Han Solo stance.
Because this is a good way to shoot things. Yeah. I will open up my entire body and only hold my gun with one hand for perfect aim. Ba-pew, 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 ba-pew. But that's like and again, that was part of it. Even Indiana Jones, the gun thing was always just like boom. Like the one handed, just like I don't even need to try because I'm so good at this. Yeah. I needed to see that, and he does pull it off in the movie. Yes. But show me that in the damn trailer. Yeah. Yeah. That's where this movie, the Han Solo movie, really fell apart, was the advertising. Yeah. To the fact that no one wanted a Han Solo movie. Yeah. And again, the internet is clamoring for, Ewan McGregor to play Obi-Wan Kenobi, and all the news that's coming out of
McGregor's like, yeah,
I'll do it. Yeah. And then the news coming out of things is like, well, maybe Chris Pratt for Obi-Wan. And people are like, we don't need Chris Pratt. We have an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan exists. Look
at him here, and he says yes.
Like, hold on, guys. Are we sure about this?
Well, Chris Pratt's a big name.
Yeah.
So is Ewan
McGregor.
And again...
And he's English.
Yeah. And again, you have to win back the Star Wars fan base at this point, because you're losing a lot of ground with them.
Exactly. And
not me. I'm excited for 9. I think 9 is going to be, like, a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked 8.
And J.J. Abrams is coming back.
He's coming back, yeah. Yeah. And then even someone posted online yesterday, they were like, remember, like, Rian Johnson made a good movie. Mm-hmm. Even J.J. Abrams was like, we did have rough drafts of things, but, it was his movie, and he did a really good job, and we're going to, take off from there. Yeah. You guys wanted a different movie? He gave you a different movie. Now you're complaining. So what do you want? Do you want us to just redo the old trilogy? Or do you want us to give you,
something different?
Something different. Yeah. So that's, and again, like, yes, there are parts to 8 that could have been fixed. Mm-hmm. Little tidbits, and people mention them, and you're like, oh yeah, that would have been like, much better. You know, do pod racing instead of those weird, like, animal things.
Yeah.
Have Rose comment on the fact that the slave kids are having to drive the pod racers.
Yeah.
And they're exploding all the time because
they're
not force sensitive. Like, that one kid can still be all of a sudden that force sensitive kid driving a pod racer, and there's that weird callback.
To Anakin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we see him at the end of... weird spoilers that you should already know about, but, like, he grabs the broom, right?
It's funny, I more thought of, like, Fantasia.
I know. No. Don't do it, kid. They're gonna revolt. They're gonna revolt on you. But yeah, like, that is... There were pieces to that movie where if they would have done things slightly different, cool.
Yeah.
Even, like, the chase scene itself. Don't give me time frames. Like, they were very exact. Like, we only have, like, X amount of hours of fuel left.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Just, we're running low on fuel.
Yeah.
We won't last much longer. Very ambiguous. So when they go from planet to planet and all these other storylines are happening, yes, it makes sense that, you know...
Yeah.
Throw in the line where, should we call in another fleet to, like, flank them? No. We'll chase them down. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Little tiny things. But overall, good movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Solo... I think get Rogue One as a Star Wars story. Cool flick.
It was a good Star Wars story.
Self-contained story.
Yes.
You know, people doing their thing. We don't know exactly... Well, we kind of knew how it was going to end. They had to die. That was kind of the shtick.
That one line in that movie.
Yeah, but that was kind of the shtick. We knew they had to die.
Yeah.
They pulled it off and killed them all.
Yeah.
But they made me like... But they made me like characters, and then they slowly took them all out, and it was like, yeah. There wasn't a weird love story that had to entangle itself into things. Like...
Actually, I want to watch Rogue One again. Just
right.
It was a good movie. I really liked
Whereas Solo, I'm like, I bought it. I own it. Because I need to have, like, you know, the Star Wars, you know, pantheon of movies now. Because, well, I already have all of them. So you got to get the rest of them.
You got to get the rest of them.
But... I don't have an inkling to watch it. Whereas Rogue One, I'm like, yeah. On a rewatch cycle, I'll throw that one in.
Yeah.
Whereas Solo, watching that one and then going to 4, or I guess Solo, then Rogue One, I don't know how, like, I guess you have to watch them at the same time, set up 2 TVs and, like,
yeah.
But either way, going from Solo now to Episode 4, jarring because, again, guy who did as good a job as he could to Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Big difference. So.
Big difference.
Either way, Boba Fett is no longer a go for LucasArts.
In the end, good idea, you think?
Yeah, I didn't like... Again, like Solo, I didn't think the Boba Fett movie was a great idea.
I don't think it was going to...
What else do you say about the guy? The reason he is such a big threat is because he's not really in the story. People complained when they gave Samus a voice in the Metroid game.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden they're like, she's just a scared person. And it's like, I would be, you know... I'd be pooping myself constantly, too, if this is what I had to be doing, you know.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, she has PTSD because she watched a giant space pterodactyl kill her parents.
Yeah.
You would also freak out a little. Well, she didn't freak out in, like, the Prime games, and it's like, but they didn't show us or tell us what was going on. We just jumped around going like, I fight you, big space pirate pterodactyl thingy. They didn't give us the voice, so... Yeah. As soon as they give those characters voices, they become much less of a, you know, badass.
Yeah. Because you realize how...
Human they are.
Yeah.
Or Mandalorian they are.
Yeah. So.
Either way, I think Jon Favreau's show will do a better job of telling a different story. We're not stuck with Boba Fett. We're stuck with, you know, this other guy who's going to lead us through some stories, which is good. Because Sabine on Rebels was a Mandalorian.
Yes.
And that's just... Let's just do Mandalorian stuff instead of Boba Fett stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that one. I'm okay with this update. So.
Yep.
I said Capcom coming to Switch stuff, but there's some other games coming to Switch as weird announcements, and they're all games that are already out and available on every other system. But Capcom's is Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1 Remake, and Resident Evil 4, the GameCube exclusive Resident Evil 4, which is now on everything, is now going to be on the Nintendo Switch. And the best part is people online are like, I will buy my 6th version of this game. People complain about Skyrim being on everything. Resident Evil 4 is just like, all right, bring it.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted. Yeah.
We'll have our own version of things everywhere on everything.
Resident Evil 4 Toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good game though.
It was well, and that was the thing is we had the Resident Evil games that set up the genre of scary.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4 gave us the action version.
Action version, yes.
That launched, Resident Evil 5, which was meh, and Resident Evil 6, which was and then they went back to trying to scare you in 7.
Yeah. Which is good.
Which is good. It's what the genre needed again. Was go
horror.
Back. Horror. And I think that's where 4 had a good medium because. They did the whole, like, you hear the chainsaw from far away, and you're like...
Do I turn around?
You're spinning in a circle, and all of a sudden, like, he busts through a wall, and you're like, found you, and you're like...
and then you die.
Yeah, because you can't just shoot him to death, because you're going to run out of ammo, so it's like, oh, no, climb the thing, climb the thing, and you're watching him from up top, like, you go away, and I'll go away, and we'll all be happy.
Reminds me of, like, Dying Light sometimes. When we would play that game.
You just stay down there.
Yeah. Till Nick learns his, jump kicking. Then he just... And I'm just like, oh my god. And just, oh, the zombie's gone.
There's a flying blur or something. But yeah, so Resident Evil 4 is coming. I'm more interested in Resident Evil and 0 because I did enjoy those games too. So we're getting the prettier versions of those games. So we're getting those. Obviously, we're not getting Resident Evil 2, the remake.
No.
We're not getting Resident Evil 7 because it won't run on the system.
No.
Unless you live in Japan, you can stream Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
Which is a different way of doing things.
I think I got it for Steam.
7?
I think.
Yeah.
Is it the most recent one?
Yep.
Yeah.
The first person one?
The one that was on really cheap one day and then I bought it. Yeah. Okay.
It's good. And you can actually, that one's VR, so if you ever end up with a headset and stuff, you can, poop yourself, by sitting on the couch and going like, ah! Yeah. People, I still remember there's a Paranormal Activity game that's VR.
Oh, God.
And they showed people playing it, so there's a tiny screen and something starts chasing you, and like there's just a guy in the middle of a showroom floor, because it was at a convention, in the fetal position, just like, no, because... You get so sucked into it. And if they do a good enough job of it, it is. So Resident Evil 7 already had me like,
Yes.
With a keyboard and mouse going like, oh, okay, just around this corner, all of a sudden something pops. They do the jump scares. Like they make sure they're hitting you with those, and it's like, ah! So I can only imagine being like here and being like, I can't get away!
I probably accidentally run into a wall.
Exactly, and then you're gonna like trip over something in the house, and you had the laundry basket sitting beside the game. It's gonna get me!
News report releases, this guy died by playing VR.
Yeah.
Tripped over a laundry basket.
And VR takes a massive hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, Capcom's got those games coming out. The Vampire game, which I had on my wish list forever, is also coming out on the Nintendo Switch. So it's an action, choose-your-own-adventure-esque type vampire game, but they've made it, to me, from what I have seen, too action-heavy.
Okay.
A vampire game should be one of those... Like, I've played the Masquerade games. So what the oldest Masquerade, Vampire the Masquerade game, it's really bad to play now.
Yeah.
It's dated. It's very dated. And it's a third-person whole shtick. Then they did, I think it was Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. And you could switch between first and third person. And there was a lot more conversations involved. And you can increase your stats so that you could actually be like, no, you will follow me to this room.
Yeah.
Like, you will do this. The other game was more of a, like, oh, you're a strong opponent. If I beat you up and suck your blood, and I can turn you into a vampire, and that's how you were supposed to... That was the choose-your-own-adventure part, is as you traveled through the ages, you kind of had your group. Your posse with you, of people you chose to transform.
Huh.
Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, less like that, more of the, like, there's different clans, and everybody's fighting. Like, the whole vampire shtick that always comes up.
Yeah.
But you had your own thing that you were trying to do. And again, it's dated now, but I can still play that one. So I'm like, oh, cool new vampire game, because it is a cool game.
Yeah.
And they're like, choose your own path. What are you going to do? But they made it a little too action heavy for me. Even the fighting, it's like, use blood magic to do this and do that. And I'm like...
So they're like blood mages now.
Sort of. But you have to suck so much blood to actually use the blood magic to do things to, like you can make one guy fight for you for a moment. And it's like, well, no, if I'm a decent enough vampire, I can wiggle my fingers from far away, whisper in his ear.
Make eye contact.
Yeah, like, I don't expect to be Dracula in games.
No.
I don't expect to be, like, the big daddy of all vampires, but I shouldn't have to be in the middle of a fight and be like, you now fight for me, as, like, blood spews from my hand to, like...
Or something, yeah.
And the action just looks dated already in this game, and a bunch of things. So it's kind of like...
Yeah, because it's been in development for quite a while, but they should update the graphics to match...
A lot of it just looked kind of...
recent game. Yeah.
And then they want $80 for it, and I'm like...
$80?
Well, that's a full title release.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm going, no.
I would... Based on things I've heard, maybe 20,
maybe
$30.
I'll wait for some kind of sale and probably get it on my computer. But now it is also coming to the Switch, so depending on how much, on the Switch it ends up being. Like, I keep looking at Dark Souls. I hate Dark Souls, but I keep looking at it because it's like... I never got into Dark Souls. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
But I keep looking at that. I keep looking at Starlink.
Yes,
because it's getting good reviews, 7 out of 10. As like a, they're like, it's a good Star Fox game.
Good Star Fox game.
I love it on all the other systems. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
On this, every review's like, if you get it on the Switch, you
Star Fox. That's the selling point. Star Fox.
And his storyline is awesome. It's like, all right. At least I would be getting it for the right system.
Yeah, exactly.
And I showed I think it was on a commercial or something, and my wife's like, more, because I have, the Disney Infinity stuff. I have amiibos.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those things, and she's going like, more, and this one attaches to your controller. Like you have a giant spaceship attached to your... Oh, yeah.
Oh,
like
I didn't know. I thought you just like would scan it or something. Or...
No. It plugs, I think, into, like, I don't know how it all works out, but it sits on your controller as this big honking thing so you can replace stuff quickly.
Oh.
So on your controller, it looks like you're like, yeah, I'm flying my R-Wing.
You're like a little, when we were kids.
Yeah, and she looks at me like, are you? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, even better, the digital version comes with more stuff for the same price. Which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You want to sell physical copies of something, and it's like, oh, people buy it because it's a plastic R-Wing. Or I can get like 3 extra ships and 3 extra pilots and a bunch of extra guns.
Lots of in-game features.
And not have to have this stupid thing on my controller. And like that was the nice thing about Amiibos and even Disney, Infinity, was they went on the base and they played.
Yeah.
There was no extra, like, you're not sitting there having to put Buzz Lightyear on your head and, you were just like, okay, the next. Good. So either way, so Capcom's got 3 games coming out. Vampire's coming out for the Switch as new games coming out. Yeah. At least Capcom's showing support because that's everybody's like, oh, finally Capcom. Thanks
for acknowledging.
Well, and someone's like, can Konami at least be listening now? Can we get Metal Gear, please? Or,
Yeah, Konami has some good games.
They do, but unfortunately Konami as a company's gone to so. Yeah. And we'll see how these sell to see what else kind of goes on. But Capcom is showing support for the Switch, just not in North America because we don't do the streaming stuff here.
Right.
It's just not something we do. So. Yeah. Speaking of old games that are working their way back to stores, Alan Wake had licensing issues to certain pieces of music last year.
Okay.
I think it was last year.
I think so.
So essentially they had a big blowout sale on Steam and all the other stores because they're like, Alan Wake's going away. Like, now's your last chance. This is the series that just won't die.
It's back.
Because it's coming back. So they've relicensed stuff or they've changed, obviously, some of the music or however they've had to do it. But either way, Alan Wake is making its return to Steam and Xbox and PlayStation and all of the online stores where you could once find it. It is coming back.
Come back.
So, if you didn't get a chance to buy it, it will be available either now or soon, depending on which system you want it on. But yes, you can get Alan Wake, which is a good game. You should get it. It's the Luigi's Mansion, but more realistic.
More realistic. Wow.
Yeah. With the giant vacuum. This one's just, you and your super duper flashlights.
Yeah.
And a shotgun or something.
I got the game, just haven't tried it yet.
It is. I loved Alan Wake, and then they kind of released American Nightmare.
They had
which was still a good game, just very different.
Okay.
And that was because no one wanted to pay them to do another Alan Wake game, and they're like, what if we did like a mini kind of game of Alan Wake, and it's like really surreal and strange, and it's like, hey, sure. Whereas Alan Wake, really, it does lead you down a path, and you're like, I need to find out what happens next. What's the next chapter? What's going to happen? What's going to go? What's
you're some suspense and
it is. It's a Stephen King-esque, novel story, put into play. Like you can actually play it. So that's kind of the fun part.
That's good.
Last but not least on the show today, I think we were talking about something else, and I forgot what it is now before we finished off, but there was other news. Oh, before we do this one, Pirates of the Caribbean apparently getting a reboot.
Yes.
No Johnny Depp.
No Johnny Depp.
And apparently the writers from Deadpool 2.
Yes. So an interesting...
Do you think Pirates of the Caribbean needs more movies? Do you think it needs a reboot? What do you... Like, that's the question.
I'm not sure. Like, I love the first one. Obviously, everyone loves the first one.
First one's good.
Because it was you had the Disney ride, and you wanted to see how they came with that. And then it became a Jack Sparrow movie.
The second and third one were weird. I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
Like, people like that. They're like, the original trilogy, man, is solid. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like all the backstabbing and, like, 12 storylines going on at the same time confused me. The first one, because, again, it was a tight story of X, Y, like, guy likes girl. Girl wants to escape life of whatever.
Yeah.
Dead pirates trying to get... There's still a bunch of storylines going on, but they all converged.
Yes.
2 and 3 was like a bunch of storylines going on, and they're like, but wait, we're not going to tell you what the actual motive of this character is.
And then, so for me, it was very wishy-washy in my head.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, that's what's going on.
Yeah. And then 4 and 5, they did do Jack Sparrow movies, which, let's be honest, he's the character people really
wanted, and Johnny Depp is great.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what the story is of this one.
Do they reboot? Do they just...
Yeah.
Do they go with different pirate stories from that time?
That's the thing. Like, I still like I still really like the first one, how it is. I don't think it would need a reboot, like...
Full on new Jack Sparrow, new Will Turner.
Yeah, they don't need the same story.
Same story as the first one.
And so I don't know what they're going to do with it. Because for me, like, if you reboot it, are you just rebooting it fresh from the original ride?
Which isn't original anymore, because if you've gone on the ride, everything is now like, get me Jack Sparrow, where's Jack Sparrow?
Is now the
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. So which way are they going with it?
Right.
That's what I'm...
Yeah. I don't know. So it's I don't know if it needs a reboot. It's a good writing team to have. Like, I mean, Deadpool, both were pretty good movies.
It'll be funny.
Right. There's comedy obviously involved in there, but... And obviously they're dropping, everybody's kind of dropping Johnny Depp at this point because he had the domestic abuse charges that were laid and subsequently dropped and all of that jazz. And then his last movie that came out bombed because
Which one was that?
No one knows. It got to one festival, no one watched it, and everybody who did watch it said it sucked. Because Johnny Depp has gone from picking roles he's really wanted to do and gotten into and... Like, I have a bunch of his old movies.
Yeah.
Because, we watch Pirates, and it's like, oh, this guy's pretty good. Let's see what else he's got going on. And you're like, oh, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Then you get to, like, Alice in Wonderland, and you're like, okay. And then he gets to, like, all these other movies that he does, and you go, he's playing the same character now, and, like, it's not... He's got the one note, and he's... he's no longer Johnny Depp. He's just guy in movie who's doing his thing. And again, not a fun one note where you're like, oh, okay, it's a Johnny Depp movie. I know what I'm getting myself into. It's it's a Johnny Depp film. What crazy antics is he gonna get into this time?
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
It is because again, like I've seen even some of his weird indie flicks that he used to do.
Yeah.
Good movies.
Yeah.
Weird movies, but good movies. Even Edward Scissorhands, like
great. Yeah.
He's an eccentric character, but at least he's not eccentric character with bad English accent.
Yes.
He's not Jack Sparrow in every single movie.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what I found he started. Like, even the Mad Hatter had his little... But
kooky.
instead of the hands going down, they went up.
They went up, yeah.
I'm still doing my, I'm Jack Sparrow, but now I wear a top hat.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's just, you need to get away from that...
You maybe have to separate yourself from Tim Burton. That might help.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
But
either way, people are trying to distance themselves now from Johnny Depp. Yeah. So that's part of this whole shtick.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know how you do it, unless you do a full-on, like, serious-esque Pirates movie.
Maybe.
Start telling stories
Make
about
it more
pirates,
adult.
Maybe. And again, maybe with the Deadpool 2 writers. Yeah. But again, it's a Disney movie, so they're not going to go
rated R.
Because again, I think a rated R pirate movie could be kind of fun.
Yeah, with that mystical, like...
Sure, go for it.
Stuff.
Bring it in.
Whatever they have.
Yeah. bring all that kind of stuff in, because a lot of those movies that are set out on the ocean aren't fun movies to watch. You know, Perfect Storm with George Clooney tried to do a movie, and it was like, oh yeah, they're on a boat doing things cool. You know, you get the movie with Chris Hemsworth and Spider-Man in it, Tom Holland, and it was I tried watching that movie, and it's like, oh my god, they're trying to do Moby Dick, but they can't pull, like, come on, guys. How hard is this movie to pull off? And it's like, oh, now we're starving, and we're gonna blame you, and I'm going, ugh.
It's like all movies when you're on a boat, you have to have really good stories with the characters, because there's no other setting.
They're stuck on a boat.
They're stuck on a boat. There's no other settings. There's nothing else.
At least the pirates piece can have the cannon fights, and you know, the big action scenes with people swinging from this way to that way, and all of that stuff. They bring in the mystical
like sea monsters.
Sure, like a kraken appears, and all of a sudden you've got to, it's like, oh no, we've got to team up and fight this kraken, and you get the big CGI fight thing and that kind of. I don't know what you do.
Yeah,
but
to me, it's a bit early to reboot. I still feel like Pirates of the Caribbean is a modern movie that's getting rebooted early.
Yes, there's too much of that going on too.
Yeah.
Which is
What else is getting rebooted?
You were saying Twilight they were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what we need.
Yeah.
I don't know, and you're right. It is. It's a modern movie, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, reboot. Without
reboot.
Like, again, people complain about Spider-Man being on the third iteration of Spider-Man now, especially right on the heels, and I'm like, but I got that one because they wanted him in the MCU.
Different universe.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they wanted him in those movies, and you couldn't take the Spider-Man that they had made and put him into the movies.
Oh, you couldn't.
So, boom.
Yes.
Cool.
That made sense to me.
That one made sense, but yeah, Pirates, you're right. It's we just had one.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna reboot it and ignore everything you've done, why bother? Just let it go. And again, they think they ended the last one, like the end credits scene, like all of a sudden, spoilers if you care, but Will Turner's back. All curses in the sea are like done and over with. Like they've kind of canceled everything mystical that has ever happened at sea. So like he's no longer dead. He's now back to living with Elizabeth Swann, or Elizabeth Turner as her name would be. Like they're happily married, but all of a sudden like you get Davy Jones back. Yeah. Like he has that dream, but it's actually like you see the little piece of Davy Jones, whatever it happened to be, like is there, and you're like, oh snap. So the last movie, from what everybody was talking about, was supposed to be all the bad guys pretty much came back because curses were over, but this was happening, this was this. So by doing that, you reversed a lot of what had happened in the movies. Yeah. So it was going to be like Barbossa as a skeleton, and all of these people pretty much combining back to fight, and it's like, all right, one big glass blowout. I understand. We'll do the big fight scene. Then with all the big bosses. Then the series is done. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you're right though. Rebooting a series that kind of just had a movie.
Yeah, like it's still fresh in my head.
It really is. Like I can remember the last Pirates movie. Yeah, and I didn't mind the last Pirates movie. No. Like I say, 2 and 3 are my weaker Pirates movies. Yes. Because at least 4 and 5 I went into going, I'm following Jack Sparrow and his crazy antics.
2 and 3 was like one movie. Wasn't it?
It was, pretty much.
It was just...
Yeah. And again, I had no idea what was going on for half the flick. I felt like Jack Sparrow.
What?
Confused the whole time. And again, it's not like they've played Jack Sparrow up as a character that can be replaced by other actors. It's not the James Bond effect.
Yeah.
That character has been solidified by one person.
Yeah.
At least James Bond, it was like, we have Sean Connery, who's like the James Bond. But they've switched him up enough over the years, and maybe that's what has to happen, but I don't know. Jack Sparrow, again, has that... James Bond was a spy.
Yeah.
He didn't really have a specific attitude. He shot people, slept with women, and, saved the day.
Yeah.
Now, whether he had a Scottish accent or an English accent or, whatever it happened to be, and whether he was more rough and tumble or suave.
Yeah.
It
all fit into the spy life.
Like, Sean Connery did play a very ambiguous character. Shaken, not stirred, this and that, and every... Like, all of that can continue on with everybody.
Yeah.
But the swagger of...
Jack Sparrow. It's like Han Solo.
Right. So what? You're going to get Jake Gyllenhaal to be the next Jack Sparrow?
Yeah.
And then he has to try and do that, but then make it his own character. It doesn't quite work. Yeah. Like you said, same as Han Solo. Like
you're getting the Harrison Ford mannerisms.
Right.
taking Johnny Depp mannerisms
and trying to make them your own, but it doesn't. I don't know if it would work. So if they do a reboot, I think they just scrap it all. But then, like you say, why do you need to do it? Last bit of news on our docket, though. There is a Harley Quinn animated show coming out, apparently geared towards more adult viewers. They have a producer who is also part of the cast now, voice cast. So Harley Quinn is going to be voice cast by Kaylee Cuoco of Big Bang Theory fame and 8 Simple Rules before that. She's also producer or co-producer on the show.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, she's got a bunch of that Big Bang Theory money, so you might as well, you know.
And then that show's ending.
Yes, it's over this season, so thank goodness, because it says most of the nerd community. Thanks for making us cool, and then completely obliterating everything.
And then just going back to
basic sitcom tropes and jokes and this and that and everything. So either way, she's going to be Harley Quinn and producing, or part producing, and Alan Tudyk of Firefly and a bunch of voice acting is going to be the Joker.
I love Alan Tudyk. I love you, Alan Tudyk.
But he's going to play the Joker, so I'm intrigued by.
I think he'll do
his
a great job.
Joker. Kaylee Cuoco, I don't know.
I
don't know if she can do, because I've only ever really seen her on 8 Simple Rules and Big Bang Theory. She played the exact same character on both. She was the blonde. Blonde trope of a character. She wasn't that bright. She played the kind of, you know.
I guess Harley Quinn's kind of like.
But I don't know if the accent can come off. I don't know how well Kaylee Cuoco. I'm trying to think of, you know, how much range she has in her voice. Because again, that's a big piece to the voice acting is you have to exude.
Harley Quinn has a unique voice.
Well, and you have to exude everything out of just voice. Not just, like, you can't just go out and read the lines and, you know, again, it's not that sitcom thing where you can just be like, oh, Sheldon, da-da-da-da-da. Like, who do you think you are? And you can use physical comedy to help you. With animated stuff, you legit have to be like, you know.
That reminds me, like, Margot Robbie did a pretty good job as Harley Quinn, like...
As best as you could for that film. As best as you could
do for that film.
The Oscar award-winning Suicide Squad?
I can't believe that got an Oscar award.
Against Star Trek for costumes. And makeup.
I can't believe it. Like, I just can't believe it.
The Oscar award-winning DCEU film Suicide Squad.
Oh, my gosh.
She did okay, and I mean Tara Strong has been doing. I think it's Tara Strong has been doing Harley Quinn for quite some time. Like we have that image of Harley in our heads. Like,
the original.
You know, hey, Mr. J, like that that whole shtick. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with Kaylee Cuoco, and especially if she's producer, because then you don't really have people going like, "Bad Kaylee, like, I know you're paying me, but do that better."
Because you're a producer.
So I'm not going to discount her quite yet, but that's my worry on that.
I hope she studies the character.
Alan Tudyk I'm fine with because he's been voicing people now for ever. He's the chicken in, like, Moana, if you really want to get down to it.
If you want to get down to it. He does another, like, very obscure, like, a lot of, like, uncredited stuff.
He's done a lot of that kind of stuff. He's King Candy in... in Wreck-It Ralph, he's a Disney guy. First and foremost, he's done a ton of stuff for them.
Halloween's coming up. Watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Like that's the thing is Alan Tudyk's done a lot of voice work. And he does have that range of, you know, oh, I'm going to do this with the character. Oh, I'm going to do this with the character. So I'm intrigued. I'm really interested in his Joker.
I am,
Where he takes Joker, whether he tries to, like, take some Mark Hamill pieces and throw them into the mix, or...
Because, I mean, I grew up with the Batman animated series. Which Mark Hamill's voice.
Which was, like, 99% Mark Hamill and a couple other guys every once in a while who filled in.
And Harley Quinn, that's when she started out.
That was where she started. There was no other start for her.
Back in my day, there was no Harley Quinn.
She started on the show.
And her voice is always in my head. Has that accent. Has that, you know, high pitchy, kind of.
Mr.
Like,
J.
Yes, exactly. Like you could do it with the voice right now if you wanted to.
But that's yes, and the fact that they're making this more adult also makes me happy because where they pulled back in the Suicide Squad movie was they have a horrible relationship. It is an abusive relationship. It is a toxic relationship. It is not oh, we're going to do bad things. We're Bonnie and Clyde. It's legitimately like if the Joker's pissed, he takes it out on her. Which, I mean, again, is not something you want role modeled in a movie.
No.
But, again, listen to ratings.
Yes.
For films. Yes. Crazy thought process.
Crazy thought process.
You know, and I still think you get a stronger character out of Harley if she realizes, and that would be the movie. Like, do it in Suicide Squad. Have her go like, oh, this guy treats me like junk. I don't need him anymore because I've got these other people in my life now, the Suicide Squad of people. Yeah. You know.
Because she's supposed to have that, what's that syndrome where you get kidnapped and you fall in love with your kidnapper kind of thing?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. Like,
essentially, she's, yes.
She's, yeah.
Well, and it's not even that. It's this weird thing where she's enraptured by the mindset of the Joker because she is this psychologist and it's like, oh, like, yeah, you're right. You know, the world does need chaos. Let's do it. Yeah. I'll help you. And then, she ends up almost with a Stockholm Syndrome-esque type thing.
She just falls in love with him even though he treats her like
junk. And junk. So the fact that this is more adult, I'm like, all right, I'm a little bit more. Because even the animated show, he did not treat her
well. No, he didn't.
Like, for a kid's cartoon show, he was like, this is all your fault that Batman got away with this. Like he stopped me again. Yeah, it's like, Harley, you stupid, like, you know, da-da-da-da-da, this is all your fault. She's like, I'm sorry, mister. Yeah, like, and she'd... Yeah.
And then Joker comes out, oh, I love you. Like, he'd be like,
oh, I need you, Harley. And she'd be all like, no, she'd be, well, you yelled at me. And he's like, you know I didn't mean... Like, it is the quintessential abusive relationship.
Yeah, and she comes back and...
Constantly. It is, and it's like, oh, that is not healthy.
That is not a healthy relationship.
So hopefully that is portrayed more in this cartoon. Really, if you're going to go with an adult show, do it. Yeah. Go hard. I'd rather you guys push for that relationship and show it. And I mean, if you're going to do that, and again, here's this crazy thought process, but if your kids are watching this stuff that they shouldn't be watching, because if they rate this appropriately, again, it's like South Park. You know, it's not a kid's cartoon show. You know, if you're going to let your kids watch it, you have to make sure you're talking to your kids about this kind of stuff. You know, this would not be a healthy relationship. Yes, I know you want to dress as Harley Quinn for Halloween because, you know, you've seen her in the comics and this and that and everything else. But if a man ever treats you like that, you walk away and don't go back.
Don't go back ever.
Because that's the South Park had a episode about school shootings. It was their first season opener. And we were watching the news that night, and the news had like a child psychologist on, and it's like, well, yes, the effects of making light jokes about this and da-da-da can be very detrimental to kids. And I'm like, well, then maybe you shouldn't let your kids watch an adult cartoon show.
Yeah.
Crazy thought process.
Again, bad parenting.
I know it's a cartoon, but don't let them watch it.
Yeah. The cartoon. There have been adult cartoons around for longer than we've been alive.
And South Park really pushes that boundary. And I mean, you look at newer shows, Rick and Morty, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Like I have that on my Google Play. Yeah. So I have my Google Play family thing set up. So my mother-in-law has it because we do have a bunch of Disney movies and that kind of stuff on Google Play. So I gave it to my mother-in-law because my nephew's over there, and it's like, oh, Disney movies. You just hit a button and you get 101 Dalmatians. Like, done. And I'm like, on the TV side of things, there is a show called Rick and Morty. It looks like a cartoon. It is not for him.
It is not,
Like, do not show the 4-year-old Rick and Morty. And it's like, well, but it's a cartoon. And I'm like, and one of the first lines in there, he drops the F-bomb about 8 times because he's drunk, waking his nephew up to go on a crazy adventure because he's going to blow up the world. Yeah. And she's like, well, that doesn't sound like a cartoon. And I'm like, it's a cartoon meant for me because I'm a 30-year-old who still enjoys cartoons. Yeah. But can understand that this is a cartoon and fiction. And yes, there is dark humor involved in it.
Yes.
I enjoy dark humor every once in a while. But again, I don't need it explained that running around like that is not a good
idea.
I know that and don't need someone to explain it to me.
It takes a bit of maturity to be like, that is not what I'm going to do in life, but this is funny and I enjoy watching this because it's entertaining.
It's like when you hear people talk about the WWE and a kid gets in, some horrible accident and it's like, his back's broken and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, if you're watching them with your kids, tell them that you don't do this kind of stuff. These are professional, and again.
It was like when we were kids and watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You do not try and hit somebody like you would as but it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
TV show to watch.
Yeah, you didn't see us jumping up on dumpsters trying to do flips off of them and then, punching each other. It was like, oh, this is a fake television show where I can enjoy. Yeah. There's action. It is toned down, so in my kid mind, people aren't getting shot with blood plastic, splattering everywhere. you know, people get shot with something or hit with something and sparks fly out.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And now you try to explain that to people who've never seen Power Rangers, and they're like, why does the skin-tight bodysuit just shower sparks? And it's like, because it is advanced alien armor. Clearly you don't understand how morph suits work. It is skin-tight alien armor that protects them from being killed.
Yeah.
Duh. God. And they have to wear a plastic helmet because it wouldn't have worked if they just wore like a skin tight. Like.
Yeah.
So, but that's my thing. Like, it's that having talks with people and that kind of stuff. So again, if this show does come out, there's going to be mass amounts of kids that want to watch it, and if it is more geared towards adults, let's at least be having those conversations with people and that kind of stuff.
Please, parents, talk to your kids. Have that conversation.
Yeah, because I want an unhealthy relationship between the two. I'm intrigued by that, and especially again with Alan Tudyk as part of it.
Yeah,
you know, I want that part. And again, Kaylee Cuoco could be interesting.
Yeah, we haven't really seen.
I haven't seen a lot of range from her.
Yeah.
She was also in that Hop movie, and she played the blonde.
I don't think I've seen the Hop movie.
Hop. The Easter Bunny, played by Russell Brand.
I haven't seen that movie.
He poops jelly beans.
Oh, okay.
It also has one of either the guy that plays Cyclops or his brother that looks almost identical to him.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm never sure which
one.
I'm
sure which one it is.
But it's got him in it, and he helps the Easter Bunny out.
Ah, okay.
Because the Easter Bunny doesn't want to be. There's the Easter Bunny, and then there's Russell Brand's character, who's going to be the next Easter Bunny.
Oh, and he doesn't want to be
the Easter Bunny.
He doesn't want to follow in his father's footsteps.
And surprise, surprise, they live on Easter Island underneath the heads. And Kaylee Cuoco in that plays the more successful sister who still kind of gets to be the airhead, but also at the same time, like, you know, tells her brother to get her life in order and all that jazz. But it's like, I haven't seen a lot of range from her, so I'll be intrigued to see what she does, but I'm really interested in Alan Tudyk on that one. Like, I read Alan Tudyk as Joker, and I went, ooh, good one. Yes. That'll be cool.
Alan Tudyk, I love.
As long as he doesn't come out with the King Candy, like, you know, ooh, we're gonna get like crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to think of like, I don't want to. Hopefully, it doesn't make me think of like another. Because like that's not Joker. That's like Mad Hatter.
Well, because again, his King Candy is, and if you listen to him talk, he does. He's like, I am summoning the guy who did Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
That is the effect that I was going for. So if you're catching the resemblances, then yes.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, Batman does have a Mad Hatter.
It does have a Mad Hatter villain.
And that would just mess things up.
Maybe they'll bring him in too.
Maybe, and he'll do both the voices.
Exactly. And he can just be, hello everybody, and then Disney will sue him.
Yes.
You stole that voice from us. So, either way, that is the news from this week. If you can think of anything else that you want us to talk about, join us on our Discord, which you can find at barrelrollnews.com. All of our links are there, so you can follow us on Twitter. You can join us on Facebook, which we don't use that much, so don't do that. Twitter or Discord. If you go to Discord, it pops up on our phones right away, so you can join us there. Send us what you want us to talk about. We'll talk about it, ask us questions, all that lovely stuff. But you can find everything you need, all of our links at barrelrollnews.com. If you've liked what you've seen, follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to us on the YouTubes. I don't know how Mixer works because I don't own an Xbox. We have those 3 things going on right now, though. But if you like the video, hit the little like buttons, hit the subscribe buttons, do all those lovely things. And join us in 5 minutes when we get the hamsters rolling again for the post-credit show. We need to feed and water our hamsters and get all that stuff going. On the post-credit show, we talk about games we've played, movies we've watched, and other sort of nerd junk we have possibly done over the last little bit. So, thanks for joining us. See you in 5.
Bye.